So going on to the performance of the week, I'll start off on this one. So yeah, we got two here, but I'll go with my number one first. Now, the reason I've started with this one is I've always wondered what it would be like to be a pro athlete, like whether it's in the NFL, Premiership, just to live that experience. Now, I can say that I lived part of that experience last night because before going to bed, I watched The Conjuring, which is a very scary film. Now, I had quite a few nightmares last night and woke up with the sweats. And I was like, wow, that must be what Aidan O'Connell's feeling about Khalil Mack in his dreams, because based off of that performance on Sunday, he's going to be having nightmares for weeks to come. When you've got Khalil Mack running through your non-existent O-line, sacking you 6 times in one game, he had 10 tackles, 1 pass deflected. He just ripped that O-line to pieces. And he'd been a bit of a lost man for a while. Haven't really heard. Think of how he was viewed when he was at the Raiders. He was being compared to Watt, to some of the best pass rushers there is in the game. He was comfortably top 2 or 3, I would say. And he's been quiet for a couple of years, but last week was definitely a coming out party for him in terms of I'm back. Maybe it's just because the Raiders, it's a good matchup. But yeah, 6 sacks in one game, got to give love to that. So Khalil Mack is my first performance of the week. Paul, what about you? What's your performance of last week 4?
It goes to my man, Sam Howell, who, even in defeat, which I don't think was on him, by the way,
no.
They put up 31 on the Eagles. And he, to me, watching the game back, couldn't have been much more impressive against that D-line coming at him all day long. They ran the ball a bit. He didn't have enough protection up front. The maturity that he showed to go down the field in the last seconds to tie the game. They could have won the game on the 2-point conversion potentially. They chickened out of that. I understand why, but yeah, Sam Howell for a mid-round quarterback. I only wish my quarterback, Kenny Pickett, was showing or did have just the guts that he had watching that game. He stood there in the face of that pass rush, stepped up, threw some strikes, took some licks, and got up and just kept coming back for more. And this kid's going to be around for a while. I was massively impressed with Sam Howell.
Well, I think your quarterback would have a few more guts if Bieniemy was his offensive coordinator.
That's a good shout, but yeah, you can't coach attitudes.
That's true. It was a great performance from him, and I know Jay, you were very happy that they didn't go for the 2 points. So yeah, everyone was happy with me.
But that drive was clutch. I got to give it to him.
It was
a heart-wrenching moment for my double. But
yeah, but you got through it just about. So Jay, your performance of week 4.
Cool. There was a lot to choose from this week. All right, I'll start close to home. Performance of the week: Christian McCaffrey, aka CMC, aka C. This is an all-worldly situation for the 49ers. Let's go back to the trade. You'll remember that I had a lot of reservations about this trade. We gave up quite a big haul of picks, took on 3-year, $36 million contract. It's quite a lot to give up when there's other issues, on the team. And, I sort of looked at our run game and said, well, it's an elite run game. Anyone with half decent talent can sit behind that line and get 1,000 yards and, do what you want them to do. I guess what I didn't think about was you've got an elite run scheme. What if you put an elite running back behind there? And that's what I think, things have just gone to a completely different level for the 49ers run game. McCaffrey can do it all. He showed that again on Sunday. Yes, it was the Cardinals, but I tell you what, the Cardinals are competitive. They are playing, 1,000 times harder than the Giants are. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
But in any case, McCaffrey, he's got it all. He's got elite vision. He can hit, when he sees the hole, he hits it. He's got the speed to maximize what he can get out of it. He even has great poise. He's going to hit a hole. He sees it closing. He's got the shiftiness to say, no, okay, different direction. And you want to talk about a safety net in the passing game as well. Brock will throw to him, in contested situations, and the ball just sticks to his hands. So this is someone who has fit like a glove for the 49ers. He's had, I think, 7 touchdowns, 600 total yards through 4 weeks. He was my best bet last week of 109.5. I said it could be 150. I sold him short. He got 177 and 4 touchdowns. That's what you call a performance of the week.
I think with CMC, we've almost started taking it for granted. Like I see him score touchdowns and put up big plays, and it doesn't wow me. I'm just like, I expect it, and that's like a really big respect I give to him, where it doesn't wow me now, because everything you just said, and I think he's got the work ethic and the professionalism to go with the right people around him. Like, God, man, imagine going back now in hindsight, you would have given even more up if you knew this is what you were getting. Like, it's he's special, but I am slightly concerned with the usage. I'm hoping they 100%. Don't burn him out before we get to the business end of the season. But what a start! But perfect. We got one more performance each. So my second performance of the week is, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I called it the whole week, that Cowboys D. I felt confident that after the performance they had the week before against the Cardinals, they were going to come out and kick the Pats' ass, basically. And they did it. They exceeded my expectations. It was even a better and more dominant performance than I ever thought. It was the biggest loss Belichick has ever had in the NFL, I believe, 38-3, or by the amount of points anyway. They just smothered Mac Jones. So he got taken out of the game. It was that bad. What do you say? They were 4 of 13 on third downs, 0 for 2 on fourth downs. They only had 10 first downs for the whole game. 2 touchdowns on D, one of them being a fumble lost. It was just an absolute men against boys game. And I'm really struggling to make out how good the performance was, because I don't know how good New England are. They've not, the games they've had, it's really hard to gauge. That they played reasonably well against the Dolphins, but never looked like winning the game. It was never really a contest. With the other games with the Jets, how good are the Jets? It's really hard to tell. Again, they're nothing special, that's for sure. I look at the Cowboys did what they needed. They've got the confidence now going into this week, which is going to be an awesome game to watch. I'm really looking forward to watching that game. But they got made to look stupid 2 weeks ago. They stepped up last week. So for me, that's the performance. This is my second performance of week 4. Paul, what about yourself? What's your second performance of the week?
Slightly under the radar, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing very well, and behind the mature leadership of their now veteran quarterback Baker Mayfield, who is putting up some numbers. We're not paying a lot of attention to this division because we've, and quite rightly, have decided that nothing spectacular will come from it. Anything that comes from it is going to get smacked down in the first round of the playoffs by whoever they're unlucky enough to come up against. But yeah, big win going into New Orleans. Division game on the road, played very mature, put up only 246 yards. But when you compare it to what my friend Derek Carr did on the other sides, he completely outshone who Derek Carr by reputation should be better than Baker Mayfield. No, Baker played mature, took what the D gave him, and that's apparently quite a good D, the New Orleans D. And yeah, Baker Mayfield, mature. I salute you, Baker. He planted the flag in New Orleans. He laid down, this is my division. Good win.
Nice one. And yourself, Jay, what's your second performance of the week?
So there's a quarterback that is very, very unlucky to not be in my performance of the week for a second time this season. But I'm going to go with someone else. I'm going to go with Josh Allen this week. This was a massive, massive spot, massive game for Josh Allen to sort of just reclaim his place on the throne of elite.
Yeah.
And the game, watching the game back, as Paul said, I mean, it was just like a tennis match. It was Dolphins score, Bills score, Dolphins score, Bills score. And in the end, Josh Allen outlasted the Dolphins offense. It's not statistically the greatest performance of the season. I know we've got Justin Herbert with 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. But for me, this was the best quarterback performance of the season so far. Like, he just, as Paul said, they just had their way with them. Maybe if the Dolphins defense had played to the same level of the Bills defense, we would have had a much closer game. But I'm not going to take anything away from Josh Allen, for that. To score 48 in this league is very difficult. And some of the throws, some of the plays, it was the old sort of Josh Allen magic that we've come to love. And no turnovers. So I couldn't be more excited about going to Tottenham on Sunday to see the one-man show that is Josh Allen. So yeah, performance of the week goes to Josh Allen.